All right, so the first venue characteristic we look at is performance proximity. Performance proximity examines how much space there is between people. The less space you have, the more problems that can arise. So fans close to one another, or fans close to the players, artists, whatever, when they're so close to each other and they're basically on top of each other, they can engage in verbal insults, and this can lead to a cycle of threats and retaliation. So that becomes the first element. The next one is the noise level. The louder the noise, the more potential for problems. While noise meters are great to have and they're exciting at a stadium, they can actually encourage conduct that might escalate to a potential problem because people get ramped up and they're excited. Seating arrangement is the next area of venue characteristics. Fixed seating normally have less problems than festival seating. Festival seating is where people can come around and have the greatest amount of flexibility to be wherever they want to be. But when this happens, people can rush to get to the best seats or locations, or they can rush to the front, causing significant congestion or maybe a trampling of people. The next element is place reputation. It is known as a rowdy venue, or is it a family-friendly, clean kind of environment? That is another venue characteristic. Temperature is the next variable that can be looked at. If it's hot weather, that can cause more agitation between fans and even athletes and performers. So always look at what the weather is going to be and how that might impact you. The next variable is stadium location. Stadiums in violent urban areas tend to have more violent incidents than those maybe in the suburbs. It could be due to fans, policing, or other variables. So as said, those are the venue characteristics. Now let's look at the event characteristics. The first one is crowd demographics. Is it a young crowd, an older crowd? Is it primarily male, female, possible certain ethnicities? Is it a family-based event where there might be young children there? The most dangerous events are young male-based events. For example, concerts that are more dangerous than some others are hard rock, punk, country, and rap concert. Also, some fans are known as rowdy fans. In the US, as an example, New York Giants versus Philadelphia Eagles fans are known to have a tough rivalry. Former Oakland Raiders fans were known to be more aggressive, as an example. They would dress up and they were ready to get out there and be energized. Highly dedicated fans in Europe, especially for soccer, are also known to be more violent. So you have to look at that characteristic. The next characteristic is event significance. Fans might not be as concerned with a preseason game, but if it's a game with playoff implications, they might have a different mindset altogether. And losing fans could be more upset after a major game because it had so much significance that the team will not move on in the championship. Performance quality is another characteristic. A close-fought game might be exciting, but it can also lead to more excitement and possible inappropriate activities. In contrast, a poor performance on the field or stage could lead fans to rebel and attack. For example, if excited fans are told a concert is being canceled, they might rebel and start throwing things at the stage and might go into other inappropriate behavior. Another event characteristic is alcohol. If alcohol is available, that's going to impact what might occur. Whether alcohol is sold or fans sneak alcohol in, alcohol is often called liquid muscles and might cause individuals to behave in an inappropriate manner. Alcohol can also be consumed before an event. At bars, restaurants, people's homes, in the dorms, tailgating, and people can attend an event already in an altered state before an event even happened. The next element is crowding. When people are crowded together, when they can get upset when they come in contact with other people, especially if they are from the opposing team, people also might get agitated when waiting a long time to get in. A larger crowd can also encourage more violent behavior due to what we call crowd anonymity. That if you're part of a larger crowd, you might say, they're not going to notice what I'm doing. Another element of the event is the performer's behavior. If an artist fails to perform or performs poorly, fans can rebel. If an event lasts a short period, people might not feel they got their money's worth. That happened with Mike Tyson. Remember when he bit off Evander Holyfield's ear? But also he had fights that didn't last long, less than a minute. Performers' words can also cause an issue. At the 1999 Woodstock event, the concert, people started behaving badly when Limp Bizkit got on stage and started singing the song Break Stuff. That encouraged people to break stuff. Event duration is another event characteristic. An event can be long, but when there's tailgating several hours before a game and then being stuck in a parking lot for an hour or two waiting to exit a venue, that can cause significant agitation. That could be almost 6, 7, 8 hours of your day. People get fed up at a certain point. The last major element is the staff characteristics. Remember, this is part of the triangle. So we have the venue, event, and the staff. This is where you come into play. You might not be able to control weather, venue location, game quality, performers' action, and other variables, but you can control how you act and how you are prepared. That leads us to the first element, which is training. You need to be properly trained and know what to do when an issue arises. There are various types of training, such as tabletop exercises, simulations, videos, whatever it might be. There are also specific skill training, such as maybe team or tips training for alcohol compliance. One critical area is to be trained in crowd management. Even police officers can benefit from crowd management training. They might have gone to the police academy, but that does not necessarily mean they know how to respond in a crowd. And so we have to also take into consideration with the anti-police sentiment in some areas, that can impact what goes on. The NFPA requires one trained crowd manager for every 250 fans. What is a trained crowd manager? It is someone who has an appreciation of how people move, behave, follow directions, and what steps to take to decrease the possibility of issues with crowds. That's part of this training. That's why it's always important to constantly train. Experience is another thing. Experience is another element because training needs to be fostered on a continual basis to increase experience. In the field, as well as shadowing experiences are so important. Having an experienced crowd manager help train an inexperienced crowd manager can help develop experience. As long as the experienced person is doing things correctly. You don't want to emulate someone who's doing things incorrectly, then it just continues that. The next element about yourself and the staff is their presence. This is a double-edged sword. You want enough security presence to serve as a deterrent, but you do not want too much to make it seem like it's a military state. Having staff or security in uniforms has a different response for fans compared with those that aren't in uniform. The presence of family and friends can have a calming effect on some guests, so asking family to help resolve a problem can be a valuable tool. Over-policing is also a problem. You can have too little or too much. You just want to be right in the sweet spot. Over-policing, such as searching all vehicles and clear bag policies and long lines, can lead to fan frustration. It might be critical, but it's fan frustration. One last element of presence is being a friendly person. When event personnel make friendly contact and banter with the fans, it can change the situation significantly. Fans might feel for an usher doing their job who is nice, elderly, friendly, grandmotherly, whatever it is. That's so important. The last element is communication. Having open communication between personnel working the event is critical. Communication with the crowd is also important. Having video boards, loudspeaker announcements, signage, strategically located personnel, you name it, that can all help convey an important information, and it can convey that information in a fast manner. Thus, I want to encourage you to look at the diagram that we have here for the safety triangle, and then appreciate that and be able to apply those elements. If you don't know one of the elements, ask your supervisors, ask other people at the venue, because they can hopefully help answer some of your questions and make you feel more like you're in control, because that is the most important thing. You're in control. You could control your training. You could control your education. You could control your attitude and response. And if you do it in an effective manner, you're going to help make the venue as safe as possible. You're going to make your job more fun, and you're going to be able to enjoy the interaction with others. Let's stay safe out there, everyone, And it was a pleasure talking to you on this video, and look forward to seeing you at other videos under Crowd Management Doctor. Take care.